So good morning, everyone. And I'm sure that most of you can see that there is a huge age gap between the rest of yourselves and myself. And I'm just proving that even the age, after nearly 40 years of business experience in predominantly male environment, you can be happy, content with your job, with a smile on your face, and the energy to continue learning and working, because this is what business is all about. My profession is basically marketeer, and I was working in academic institution at the beginning of my business career, then in aviation business in Serbia and US, finally in telecommunications, IT, and now since 2009, my company, which is a solution provider, is also actively enrolled in cybersecurity protection, analytics, and education. Basically, I think that it might be much more interesting if you would start asking questions before I continue my speech, because then it will be more interactive and you will probably hear more and learn more than just what I am here about to say. The point is that I have been a founder or a co-founder of a private business, which is a family business, and my husband is another co-founder. We have been married for 30 years and we have been in business 28 years, which proves that both activities, private and business, are operational, and we haven't neither divorced nor separated in business. So it shows that it can work. So we are 50% female participation in top management. And I must admit that basically because I was always extremely interested in requirements and needs of the market and trends of technology development already in 2008 and 9, when it was quite obvious with the first economic crisis that has started first in US and then in the rest of the world. It was obvious that the business model is going to change, and the biggest change has actually happened through technology. This technology has brought us to using more and more cloud services, working from home, online, not just because of COVID, but because of many various different challenges in business. And this is what has signaled to me that we need to learn more about cybercrime and cyber threats, because once you go digital and online, the cyber protection is as much a big topic as it is to have good infrastructure and good quality of committed internet. This is something that is bringing us to the new age of more cognitive work than just physical. So ladies, don't be bothered that you are not strong enough to take much heavier weight on your shoulder. Work with your brain. We are smart enough, we are equal enough, and we are not fighting in this world for anything else but gender equality and equal possibilities based on interest, wish, and focus and energy to learn and adapt according to business situations and according to general daily living. So what I have to say is trust in yourself, like I have trusted in myself all my life. In Telegroup, there are more than 500 people, 82% are engineers, and we are positioned in 12 different countries and locations where we do the same thing, which is securing good infrastructure, both in telecommunication and IT, cyber protection, software development, and we follow the trends of data analytics and new artificial intelligence. So this is how we see that things should develop in future. This is where we also try and still enroll people on a monthly basis. This is where we quite a lot invest in education of our employees, but also in educational institutions and companies, institutions like universities, but also high schools and companies who are like Microsoft having their educational teams. And we participate with them because we have a lot of in-field experience. which is almost always very valuable to the clients and also to the international community. Now, once we realize that cybersecurity is going to be the crucial topic with the highest raise in business opportunities and the biggest growth in all industries that are now existing in the world, continuously rising from now in the next 10 years, it was important for Telegroup to educate community of not just Serbia, but whole Western Balkan region. And this is when we started organizing annual conferences in every country that we operate in the Western Balkan, which means 6 of them, in Telegroup InfoSec Day, where we were bringing most of our valid partners and valuable partners, but also trends from the latest development that was presented in London on InfoSec Day. London InfoSec is probably the leading security conference and show, fair, if you want, where companies have their booths and present their not just current product portfolio, but also trends and roadmaps of their products, but also roadmaps of trends in technology of cybersecurity and hacking industry, to which cybersecurity just is an answer. So we thought that quite a lot of people from our region were not able to travel to London annually and see what are the global trends. And this is the reason why we invited the world to come to global, from the global trends to our local markets, and organized the conference in Serbia, Bosnia, Montenegro, and Macedonia, trying to teach everybody who was present there, whether with the live presentation and demos, but also online videos with presentations from our either Middle East, Far East, or US partners, in order to bring the information which is the crucial product of present and future days. So with this, I would like to conclude what I have to say to you, except be brave, be ambitious, be smart, and learn. This is the way to success. The rest, I am free for your questions.
Great, thank you so much, Diana. We have one question already from the audience, which is, according to your experience, do you think that women have to prove twice as much as men so that our opinion is taken into account while carrying out technical careers such as cybersecurity?
Well, my personal experience is always taught me that if I am presenting my case with strong belief in what I'm saying and having proven data and facts in the process, I don't have to prove myself twice. Actually, it's the dialogue which is proving that we are competent and relevant partners in dialogue. And the data that I was providing was always verified and qualified and high quality, so that basically the data has spoken together with me independent language, which means it doesn't matter who speaks them out loudly, male or female. They are the power, and they are really the weapon in building and fighting for the cause. And this is the reason that throughout my career, both in US, European Union, where I have spent more than 9 years of my previous life, as well as in the region, I was never doubting myself because I was female. I was not even considering myself female. I was considering myself whether I am knowledgeable enough, whether I have facts and data which are working for me in my sleeve and in my brain, and whether I can express myself efficiently, strongly, and convincingly so that people start thinking, rethinking, and trusting me in what I'm saying. And this is my advice for everyone. First of all, trust in yourself, and then the rest will trust you.
Great, thank you. We have one more question, which is, do you use AI-based technologies in your cybersecurity solutions?
We do, and simply this is impossible to think otherwise, because AI technologies are really not just becoming part of our life, they are now taking the dominant role in our lives, everyday life as well as business life. And therefore, relying on what artificial intelligence can bring to you in analytics is sometimes acutely reliable, and definitely there is need to listen to it together with whatever subjective or partial knowledge that we can have, or simply the data that we can digest in a sequence of time in which artificial intelligence can beat us anytime. So don't play chess against machine. Use machine to play chess.
Okay, great. Then one more question from the audience, which is, what cybersecurity solutions are most popular among your clients?
Well, currently, obviously, it is endpoint security, because more and more we are using a lot of digital gadgets in our daily life. And each time we do it, it is extremely vulnerable if you don't have a proper security, especially that you are bringing it into the office, but also taking with you out of office in your social participation or daily life. And the possibility of contingency is much stronger than it was before, when mainly you have separated world. One was professional in the office and another one was private. So especially Internet of Things have brought a lot of IoT security. This is the next very important aspect of cybersecurity and cyber protection. And this is again something that a lot of companies and clients are requesting. And finally, the protection of data centers, which is extremely important, especially for government and large enterprises. If you see what has happened with the hackers entering into Colonial Pipeline in US just 2 days ago, which has blocked their all operations and delivery of gas and oil and petrol to the petrol stations. The whole stoppage of East and Mid US has happened in the last 2 days. And you see, this is where it happened. It happened in the data center of this large business, large enterprise. So these three are crucial requirements and needs. But on the other hand, there are a lot of aspects in cybersecurity, protection of data in healthcare, which has started to be online, interactive, open to a lot of online services from healthcare and clinical centers. And the sensitive data of the patients is more and more now being monitored and need to be protected. So I think that these four should be and are at the moment the most sought and most requested, and we have a huge growth of sales in these areas.
Great. We have one more question and statement from the audience, which I think is really nice, which is, as you stated at the very beginning, as you stated at the very beginning, there is indeed an age gap between us, but I think having you here today makes us more confident, at least speaking for myself. When you describe what you do in your work, you show a lot of passion. What would you say to a group of young women who have not considered a career in the world of computer security due to a lack of knowledge or lack of programming experience?
Well, I would just advise, first of all, be curious to see what is beyond what you see at the first sight. Because then this will lead you to learn more, and then you will understand that it doesn't matter whether you are 15, 20, or 60 like myself. I'm actually 60 plus. I'm still learning. So learn and see that you are equal in all of capabilities to fight with younger generation, female, male generation, and the rest of artificial intelligence.
Great, thank you. Also, building on another question asked from the audience, I wanted to ask you, because we spoke a little bit about that cybersecurity doesn't necessarily have to be a technical role. You know, there are also other kinds of specialties required around cybersecurity, such as recruiting expertise or marketing expertise. Can you maybe talk about some of the opportunities that are currently available at your company, like internships or whatever that might be, both technical and non-technical roles?
First of all, you're quite right. You don't need to have technical background in order to enter into cybersecurity world. I myself, as I said at the beginning, I'm a marketeer. So I have entered it from this position, distinguishing the opportunities and the needs of the markets, trends of the technology, and the possibility to satisfy the market needs with the offer of my company. On the other hand, we as Telegroup are quite a lot cooperating with a number of universities, and we are bringing to dual education, not just internship in our company, which is always open, and there are always open spaces and open positions in cyber. But on the other hand, we try and we bring the needs of industry to educational institutions, because we see quite a lot that people who go to universities learn something which is not applicable in business life and their profession. So they need to see both worlds. They are like just the two spheres that match. One cannot be without the other. And on the other hand, companies are more and more looking for more specific focused knowledges and expertises that you can gain during your education period of time. So it doesn't matter where you start. Whatever my colleagues, engineers learned in their university technology days or technical days at electrical engineering school or business school, mathematics school, today the knowledge they have gained 4 years ago is much less relevant than the knowledge they are gaining online, on educations, on training that we send them from the company. So don't be prevented by your former education. The broader education you have, either from humanitarian or from technical science, it is all relevant extremely to the sense where you want to be tomorrow, not what you want to know today, because today is already in 24 hours irrelevant. So plan your future. Start you learning what else you want, or you are intrigued, or you have passion for. Because I'm still learning. I'm still going to trainings. I'm still following whatever my colleagues are learning. Because as a manager and CMO officer, I need to understand what they do in order to evaluate, help them, even guide them in which areas to continue specializing and in which areas to start learning more in order to be ready for tomorrow.
Great. We have another question from the audience, if you still have the energy to answer.
Well, I have the energy, but I'm going to later time.
We have plenty of time, so as many questions as you're happy to answer.
I don't have any more time, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I guess we can maybe save this question for another speaker. So Diana, thank you so much for your time, for answering all of our questions and for the insightful information about your company.
Well, thank you, girls, for listening to me. And if you really have interest and question, you can always contact me. I'm sure you were curious enough to look up Telegroup website and see what we do and where we are present. There are also my contacts. So if you have the willingness to talk to me or ask some advice, I'm always happy and ready to answer, or have direct meetings or online meetings, whatever you prefer, or we are available to do, because of some of you are sitting in Switzerland, some of you are in Serbia, not necessarily in Belgrade, but I am ready and available at least 18 hours per day to all my team, so you can consider yourself included. Thank you very much for your time.